Megan Fitzmartin and Laura Braga continue the dive into the worlds the Great Darkness offers as Impulse, Superboy and Robin find themselves in a strange world that doesn't like them questioning where they are or what they used to be. Megan Fitzmartin continues with the absolutely horrible Young Justice fanfiction this issue, continuing her really tone-deaf and heavy-handed story of forgotten heroes who are out of their time and are throwing hissy fits because the world doesn't revolve around them anymore. Now, with the Great Darkness offering them up worlds where they can be the big heroes and be the quote-unquote next in line for their legacies, it makes sense to have the characters start to begin to be poisoned by this sort of notion and thinking that it's okay to think like this, but the problem is that it's just so on the nose and very obvious the writer has major problems with how these characters were handled in the past, but by whining about it and in Cassie's regard completely disregarding other characters' feelings as well as some of the character development that character actually has been getting through Wonder Woman book and the Young Justice book by Bendis, it just makes it all so much worse. Probably the worst thing about the book is how it says that all of the stuff that happened in the 90s with the Young Justice was awesome and we need to go back to that time, but then it takes a swerve in saying that that time was horrible because it was full of sexism and homophobia and racism. So which is it? Was it the best time of these heroes' lives or was it the worst time of these heroes' lives and they shouldn't go back to it? It's very, very all over the place and just doesn't know where it wants to go. In some other capable hands, a story like this could be great and it could be a great tale of temptation and regaining one's lost youth, but instead it's just so obnoxious and just a complete waste of these characters. Laura Braga's artwork for the book continues to be the only highlight of it, really invoking the 90s feel, especially this issue with the Morrison and Porter JLA roster turning up, as well as the very 90s Captain Boomerang and Tora characters also making an appearance. The art style as well, the aesthetic really reminds me of comics from the 90s, like the colors that were used really trigger that thing in my mind that makes me think of the 90s, and it's kind of like the Flash book where Amanke Nahuelpan did a really great thing with the Flash Earth 1 where it's all 1960s set and did the art according to that, which I thought was really cool, and here is no different. Dark Crisis Young Justice issue 2 was an absolutely awful book filled with really great ideas that shine through ever so briefly before being drowned out by the writers' bordering on insane fanfiction characterizations of these characters. But hey, at least the art is really nice. I'm gonna give this issue a 3 out of 10. Dark Crisis Young Justice issue 2 finds the hero team battling the Mighty Endowed, with Robin remembering that she wasn't this difficult to beat when they fought her previously. He wonders why Cassie didn't appear in Happy Harbor like the rest of them, as the Wonder Girl of this world talks about how great this world is, wanting to show them around later. Mighty Endowed smashes her in the face, causing Cassie to grab the woman and fly high into the sky, leaving the boys to watch. Superboy soon takes off to help her, as Impulse thinks they should figure out what's going on, but Robin knows that they will in time, and who knows, they might actually be able to have some fun for a change. Young Justice soon finishes off Mighty Endowed, allowing them to finally figure out what is going on, and Impulse notes how no one was actually in trouble from Endowed, and it looked like she was just waiting there for them. Robin wants to question her, but Cassie tells them to get on the supercycle, speeding away from the scene. Bart doesn't like the vehicle, so Connor tells him to lighten up as Tim goes through what's been happening in his head, finding everything feels so easy and how Connor is like the Connor he remembered, now so full of life, and Cassie is so carefree now, barely remembering that she used to be like this. Oracle soon contacts the team, telling them they need to stop the villain Tora in Metropolis. Robin thinks that they could use some backup, wanting to call in John, Damien, or Wallace for help, but Cassie has no idea who those people are, making Robin wonder just where the hell are they. In Metropolis, Young Justice confront Tora, remembering how they fought her once before. Superboy and Impulse take her down as Wonder Girl asks Robin what's wrong. Tim asks why they keep getting distracted with fights, thinking that they are in an alternate dimension and they are fighting old villains they haven't fought in years. Cassie does believe that something is going on, but she doesn't know what it is, but she has been waiting for them. Impulse meanwhile knows that it's been a while since they fought Tora, but he wonders if she was always this cartoonish. Cassie tells Tim that she doesn't have any answers, but knows who might. Back on Earth Zero, Cassie goes to find Sissy, running into her and her new friend Liz, whom she goes to college with, with. Cassie asks for Sissy's help, and later Cassie notes how Sissy is practicing her archery, so she obviously wants to be arrowette again, but the woman says that she doesn't and college is expensive, so doing archery gets her loads of financial aid through scholarships. Cassie catches one of the arrows, demanding to know if she is more worried about college than her old friend. Sissy says she's more worried about a world without a Justice League than one without Connor, Bart and Tim, and besides, she doesn't have the best memories of their childhoods, remembering how they would always fight people the Justice League didn't understand, like women or people from other countries. Cassie knows that they made mistakes as kids, but with the League gone, the world needs all the help it can get. Sissy tells her that she only comes by when there's something wrong with the boys, and before Cassie can get a word in, Sissy tells her that she didn't leave because the hero life was hard, she left because of the toxicity, and Cassie's life revolves around the three boys, and she likes that mess, wondering who Cassie Sandsmark is without them. Sissy says that she didn't want her life to end up like Cassie's and have her life overshadowed by three privileged idiots who have the whole world handed to them. Sissy, however, says that she will help Cassie, but it's the last thing she'll ever do for young Justice. Cassie tries to apologize, but Sissy doesn't want to hear it, pulling her arm away from the woman, as elsewhere, young Justice meets with the Justice League on the Watchtower, noting how it's the League from when they were just starting out. Robin feels like something has been rewritten in his brain as he sees the League, thinking that he's remembering two different truths, and that the League are actually alive. Flash speeds into the supercycle, happy to see Bart, as Superman tells Connor they need to talk. Superman and Cassie take Connor into an observation deck of the Watchtower, showing him the view of Earth. Clark knows that from there they can see how fragile it all is. He shows Superboy a Superman cape, telling Connor that he needs to protect it. Connor knows that that's John's job now since he was replaced, but Superman says that the world needs him and always will. Cassie thinks that he deserves the job as Superman and the cape, as elsewhere, Flash and Cassie show Bart the gym. Bart wants to know what's going on, telling Wally that this feels like some type of memory, but he doesn't remember this part of it. Wally removes his mask, thinking that Bart is joking, but Bart knows Barry would know he isn't, telling Wally that he saw something when he was on his way there, thinking that there are cracks in the world, wondering if it was always like this. He demands to know why he was brought there, so Cassie says it's so he can be the next Flash. Tim Meemaw is told that he is to be the next Batman by Cassie as well, knowing that it's something the boy has always wanted. Robin wonders if that's actually true, remembering how he told Detective Williams that he wanted to be Batman. He knows that ever since Damian showed up, Bruce was planning on giving him the cowl someday, but Tim can't always be Robin forever, so why can't he be Batman? Cassie thinks that Spoiler would love to get back together with him if he's Batman, but Tim reminds Cassie that he's dating Bernard, prompting Batman to say that that's just a phase and he'll get out of it as soon as he accepts his real destiny. Later on, the three boys meet up, with Tim not wanting to talk about what Batman said, only that he would never say something like he did. Bart says that he misses Barry since Wally's impossible to talk without him around. Connor slams his food on the table, prompting Tim to tell him that he knows it's frustrating, but they need to fix this since something is clearly wrong. Connor, however, wonders if they have to go back, and Tim and Bart know they do, since this isn't even their past, since the design is all wrong, and it's just going out of its way to be sexist, racist, and homophobic. Connor, however, wonders if this is the world they actually belong in. Bart asks Tim if he actually said words out loud, and Tim heard him, but Tim asks Connor if he doesn't think this is real. Connor thinks that their memories are the fake ones, and they are in some type of heaven, and what if this place is where they are meant to be, and it's better for them since he never died there. Bart asks if anyone has seen Cassie, as on Earth Zero, Cassie is attacked by Red Volcano, calling for Sissy's help, but the woman knows that her arrows won't be doing much against the villain's lava. Cassie says that they want to know where Red Tornado is, as the villain says that he's going to cover the entire town nearby in lava and no one will stop him, since Red Tornado is busy taking over the Justice League. Suddenly, Red Tornado appears, blasting the villain back as he helps out Cassie. Cassie tells him that the boys are missing and that her and Sissy need his help to find them. The hero knows that of course he will help them, bringing the women in for a rather tight hug. Young Justice meanwhile begins their search for Cassie, wanting to know where she goes when she's upset, but none of the boys seem to know. The boys all know that she was with their prospective mentors when they went to see them, making Robin realize that she can't have been in all those three places at once. Suddenly, the supercycle is sent into the air, prompting the boys to be saved by Superboy. but thinks that the vehicle just tried to kill them as a giant fissure begins to open up in front of them. Zombies soon clamber out of the fissure and Superboy tries to cut them down with his heat vision, but finds it doesn't work. Robin thinks that it's time to go, wanting Connor to get them back to Happy Harbor. Superboy picks up his friends and flies towards the base, wondering where all of the water below them came from. They soon arrive back at Happy Harbor but find Deathstroke, Captain Boomerang and Lex Luthor have captured Cassie, wondering if the boys missed them.